Hey, good afternoon. We have a good meeting today from the other day when James came to my house. In fact, I've spoken to James before this, getting ready for this. We had another hangout about the orphan children, but now
Yeah.
Claudio's here and Claudio meets James. James meets Claudio.
Hi,
Hey,
Claudio.
brother. Pleasure to meet you, brother.
Hi. And you. I was listening to before I joined the Hangout, I listened to the recording of it, and what you said was just such pure wisdom.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. I wish I could say it was mine, but it comes from a whole bunch of brothers and sisters, right? And we all just put our little pieces
Yeah.
together.
If I said
So,
Neville Goddard, would that ring a bell?
Neville Goddard? No.
Yeah. He's
Not to
You
say that
didn't
I
hear
haven't
it
come
right.
across any of his stuff.
Neville Goddard. It's Neville Goddard.
Goddard, yeah. It's like a thread of new thought writers who are all been saying the same thing.
Oh, awesome.
And it's basically everything starts in the imagination, and it's all state.
I am a. When you look at the three letters I, the M, and the A,
Yeah,
the I is only one of two glyphs that have a dot on top. So that's the Ma, right? Ma, M-A, and the I.
yeah.
So that's like Mother and Jesus. So everything we do is all about manifestation in our imagination, in our I am. So we've been really working on trying to get the English letter, the alpha beta, to actually make sense and fit it on the dendra,
Yeah.
and it's working very well.
Well, I see the alphabet as very much like glyphs, and I take the straight vertical line being the supernatural or representing the soul, and then the curved shapes or whatever shape comes off of that is giving you a clue about so many different things.
100%.
It's sort of a way of decoding everything.
Everybody
It's
kept trying
fascinating.
to. It is. It's beautiful uncovering this, and you got so many brothers and sisters trying to do the same. And when you Google something now, and the images that come up compared to 5 years ago, it's so invigorating watching everybody start decoding, like the Last Supper, and it's just awesome.
Well, I think one of the most interesting letters is the joined A and E in Greek, which becomes the ampersand. Even the name of it's got amp, which indicates power, I, and
amperage too, right? Yeah, good one.
That to me is a huge clue. I mean, then when you think about our senses, if you change the spelling to EA, you've got sleep, breathe, feel. Taste has got A and E in it. See, you can spell EA, and hear EA in that. It's also the old name for Earth. If you have the ears, perhaps.
Right. So just like the Egyptians drew, and that's why I'm just Ellen Hart just found a video from a guy who's actually doing glyphs, ideograms of inside the dendra, inside the Egyptian whatever carvings, writings of different temples. He's actually telling you what a glyph means, not trying to make a phonetic sound out of it. That to me doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
I belong in many groups and trying to learn, and when they say, well, this is the F sound. Well, if it's the F sound, that's fine, but what does F mean? Right?
Yeah.
So so I was just starting to watch the video before I came on this, and I just did into it, and this guy seems like he's got a lot of knowledge, so it's going to be very invigorating to see, because those are all stories. Each letter is a glyph, and each one of their glyphs, ideogram, whatever you want to call them. So yeah, so when you're getting back to your first thought about everything is from the imagination, 100%.
Well, the letter E, you've got 3 prongs. So you've got the high, low, and the middle. The middle path is the short path. Now, when you get to the F, it's missing one of those. So, and it's in words like defy. So I think that's the imperfect E being energy in its sort of purest form. I think that's
100% can be.
It
can be.
It's also, I think also the E and the A with this vowel shift, when we're saying I am, we're also saying I am, as in electros frequencies of in the mind and the magnetism of the heart. So either way is correct. We are electromagnetic.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I think I am is an expression of that.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, it fits.
It also, if by changing the vowels, the vowel to L, you're changing the sound vibration as well. So it's a huge shift on this reality. I would even go so far as to say that earthquakes are because people are seeing cracks in this reality and things are not making sense. And this is the collective consciousness is causing the earthquakes, or it's a reflection of feeling.
I agree with you 100%. Never thought of it that way, but it makes sense. I mean, we as we move, we churn up the ether.
Yeah,
As our emotions start getting out of hand, we're doing the rubbing a balloon on our hair and making it
yes,
stick to the wall, or going to get
yeah,
the shock, right? So as we
yes,
move, we're churning up the ether. We're creating
yeah,
electric charge. So that's why we get more and more storms, more and more hurricanes, more and more lightning. Or if we're all at peace, then it would be just subtle rains to just come to give for the plants because they call for it.
yeah,
I've seen videos on it, and we're experiencing right here. We have this natural preserve behind our house, and the storms come and end over top of it.
mm,
Right. So I
it's
mean,
amazing.
it varies a little bit, but it's always giving here
Yeah,
and not raining anywhere else.
yeah.
Concrete versus plants. What do you think Mother Nature is going to give to? Yeah, it's going
Yeah,
to make sure that's clean. So yeah,
definitely.
100%. You're right on, brother.
Interesting as well. You said ether. Well, there's another EA again, and also in heart,
Yeah, ether,
and earth.
heart, hearth, the fire, the hearth,
Yeah,
the
that's it.
earth.
Yeah,
Yeah, because the H is definitely infinity.
yeah,
Like when you look at the dendra, some people spell it without the H. Well, when you add the H on it, it's your repeated rebirths, your infinite
mm,
cycles dying on the cross until you get it right, until you pay attention, to
that
which
makes
people are
perfect
starting to
sense.
do now. Right. So the
Definitely.
H is the throne that Isis sits on. The H looks like a
Oh, yeah,
chair. Underneath the chair would be the earth. And as she's holding the infant prince, which would be each and every Christ of us within,
yeah,
we come into this realm through that H. And she's singing on that H, telling us, hey, do this right, and you won't have to keep going over and over and over again. And you
yeah.
go. Now you're
I
in
see it.
Dendera with the H.
I see it very
The
much
H is
as
the eighth letter, right?
yes, yeah. Well, I
Infinite.
see the H as the two upright bits being the twin caduceus, and where the horizontal link between the two. Um,
Yes. Yeah, the infinite snakes. Our snakes are intertwined. Exactly.
yeah,
The yin, the yang.
this reality is very much in the eight. Just if I take anything as a cycle, but looking out the window, the maple tree, it drops its leaves, it gradually mulches down, becomes compost, feeds the tree, and it's a continuous cycle. It's
Ouroboros,
amazing. Mm,
right? It's a snake eating its
yeah,
tail.
yeah,
And
definitely.
they're only here. They're only here because of us,
Yeah,
waiting for us to wake up
yeah.
to
I
from our gods in training, right? Because the G and the D are the 6 and the 9. It's the yin and the yang. We're after the
yeah,
point in the middle, the ether.
yeah.
That's why we're
Interesting.
gods. We're gods, and from the Godhead, you'll hear that terminology. And
Yes,
the
yeah.
Godhead is source, is the ether, where we
Mm,
don't move, and we're super massive with great inertia and bliss. So
yeah. It's also interestingly with the 6 and the 9, it's basically the shape of the fetus,
mm,
and we come out head first as a number 6. There's 6
that,
protons, 6 neutrons, 6 electrons.
oh, that's good.
Um,
I like that one. I
I
like the
think they
six.
even flip. I think they flip that over that the 666. So we're actually cursing ourselves.
Yeah, six is our are a very important number for us, and the 9, obviously, because you got 3, 6, and 9. I don't know if you've studied Ken Wheeler's metaphysics, but that's got to do with, and I don't have these memorized. I got the image in my mind and I understand how it works, but the ancient language that they use, like the Idos, it's escaping me right now, but yeah, it comes in stages: source, then source basically tied with yin, and then the yin and the yang. I'm simplifying it there, just as a right. So the 6, the 3, 6, 9 is us coming out in 3 golden triangles, and it's related to the pentagram, right? There's 3 golden triangles that make a pentagram. So yeah, 6 is, I like that about the baby. The baby comes out in the shape of it, is in the womb, the shape of the 6. That's cool.
Yeah. Sorry, I lost some of what you were saying because the signal went.
Okay.
I heard you say about the 3 triangles, and
Yeah,
that all makes perfect.
Yeah, 3 golden triangles make the pentastar, right?
Yeah.
Right. When you look up at the sky and your eyes aren't totally focused, you'll see a star.
Yeah.
That's how everything moves in golden ratio, right?
Yes. It's amazing what this journey sort of opened up into looking into.
Right. And I just want to say, I think Ken Wheeler, Santos Bonacci, there's so many people. I can go on and on.
Yeah.
Matt Jerome,
Yeah.
Dave Carlson, Eden Gill. I mean, all the beautiful friends that we converse with, that we're heading towards one love. No egos, just work together for the same goal. It's beautiful.
Yeah. We're sort of, well, it's funny. You hear terms like spiritual war, but I think it comes down to just staying in our power, of not actually having to do anything, just standing firm, because it's the first act of war, and we're not fighting in their terms of it from the other side, their perspective. It's by just being true to ourselves, collectively, individually, but collectively at the same time, all as one in individual forms. It sort of comes down to really you cannot see the creator or God, because it is in so many different forms. I mean, 7.5 billion of us, different variations. That's in one form as a human, which again has got that H at the start, the U, and then as a reference to God as well. It was Black Sheep Research Channel. We did a video called "Who the Heck." That was the title of it, and it shows the Janus theme that goes right the way through everything. I mean, I see it as there being a creator of everything. So whatever you do, you've got an unlimited times you can go around. At the moment, this world seems to be in the crazy house looking at distorted mirrors, and it's getting a very distorted image being thrown back at it, and it's reacting from that. I see the media as being should we say, the dark side version of a medium, which is suggesting ideas and puts out certain words, and the world jumps, and it's humanity that's doing it to itself.
100%. You got eyes to see, brother. 100%. Yes, we are. Because what we allow, what we imagine, what images we put into our head is what Spirit's going to give us. And right now, because the energies are higher, be careful what you wish for. Be careful what you manifest. That's why I tell people, always use positive words and put the word "not" in front of it when you don't want to speak about something positive, like "not good," instead of reverse. So always picture something good. And things, the light is, you're going with the flow, with the one love, because right now Mama's back. She's taking us back to one love.
Yeah.
So the war, the spiritual war, is the war of your physical being fighting your own metaphysical being. In other words, your charioteer.
Yes.
And the charioteer is the same charioteer for every one of us. The yin is the black, is the one love. We all have the higher self. We don't have individual selves, higher selves. Because the body, the corporeal, the corpse, this body is not us. This is us in manifest to learn and
No.
understand what it's like to have choice. And that choices have to be good, or this is where you go. And
Yeah.
knowing that we're tethered to the charioteer, to the yin, and then it all falls back to how the Plato's divided line. It's simply impossible to be any other way.
Yeah, I'd agree with that totally.
Yeah, I can see that we're definitely all on the same page, brother.
Yeah. I think that the
Which is
line
invigorating.
from Hotel, yes, the line from Hotel California comes to mind. Sort of, you can check out any time, but you can never leave.
Oh my
You
God!
knew that you were going to have a good hangout the other day, didn't you, Claudio?
Yeah, absolutely. I just listened to that the other day again, and it just rang true with me, brother. It's exactly what you said.
Yeah.
It's funny that I got it to ring with me before this hangout. So yeah, music is a hologram. They're timeless. There's no such thing as time, as Ken puts it, Ken Wheeler. Time is just a measure of magnitude.
No.
That's why we're bigger and we go smaller. That's why there's tree stumps that are called mountains, and there's bigger bodies, and there's bigger bones, because we're Plato's divided line. We're incommensurate, going ever so closer inner. That's why we get more spiritual. And into this age of Aquarius, it's we're getting baptized right now because we're just kids. We're just young stars, youngsters.
Well, it's funny, like the terminology, you're talking about spiritual growth, and then there's terms like children of God. Well, it's like, well, would you give the keys to your brand new Ferrari to a 10-year-old and say, take it for a spin? We're not going to be allowed out of here until we spiritually grow. It's as simple as that.
Yeah, well, they
we
kind
just
of
keep going round.
Yeah, they gave us keys to something, and
that's the sad bit, isn't it? Because we all think we know everything, but we don't.
Well,
that's right.
In a way,
that's right.
you can see this like a model maker who's created like a diorama and now wants to actually be in it and then go through all the experiences. So in some ways you could say there's no right or wrong. Some of the choices come with consequences, of course, but
I said the other day, here is what you want it to be. So if you want it, I just think a lot of us want it to be a certain way, and other people want it to be the other way, and you have to let them carry on in their globe life.
Yeah,
because that's what it is. It doesn't exist, but anyway.
It's a continuous bombardment from the moment the umbilical cord is clamped and childbirth is made as painful as possible. And the assault never stops from there onwards, and it's distraction upon distraction. And I mean, look at the message that was being given to children with Pokemon: "Got to collect them all." It's instilling greed.
Well, yeah, because it's because they're being the role models without knowing it. It's just our brothers and sisters who I've yet to figure out what their purpose is in a permaculture, self-sustaining community, because they will function as something. They're just realizing they're not doing it. Because I mean, I know people that they just hang on to their pixels. Doesn't matter how much. They won't give anything to their kids because they know what could happen, but they're hanging on to them.
Yeah.
And they got lots of them. Like, so these are just our brothers and sisters who got greedy. It's them.
Yeah.
They must be like squirrels that store for the winter time. So
you mean
all these guys
materially? They've
right,
done
so
it
now,
materially, you mean, instead of spiritually?
Right, not knowing, but their shirt is making them collect. And this must be the winter time right now, because look at government are giving the money back. I mean, trust me, they're all going to get their karma for not doing the right thing. But at the same time, spirit makes sure that it's available to come back now, and now start spreading the wealth. But the pixels are going to go away, and it's going to end up being a barter system. There's no doubt in my mind, because profit will disappear. You cannot have profit in any society because it will implode like this one.
Yeah.
So it's like this, James. You're going to run this corporation, all right? And because that's what you want to do. You get to eat whatever you want. You get to drink whatever you want. You get to fly whatever you want. You get to stay wherever you want. You get to do whatever you want.
Yeah.
Do you need to save pixels still? No. No. Because no. What do you need it for? Well, I want to
Yeah.
own my own jet, so it sits over at Windsor Airport, and I paid $20 million for it, and I got rid of it because I don't want to spend $360,000 on a pilot to sit there not taking it anywhere.
Yeah. Yeah.
Think about that. I spent 20 million, and that's not the problem. The problem is because I don't want to spend the 360,000 a year to have a pilot waiting for me in case I want to go somewhere. So yeah, they're just confused brothers and sisters.
Well, to me,
So this, I just thought of the word squirrel, but that sounds what they're doing.
that makes sense that maybe even animals and things, the spiritual meaning of animals are reflected in different types of human.
Well,
We
well, yeah, 100%.
Yeah,
100%.
I'd never actually thought of that before, but that makes perfect sense as well.
Everybody's got their animal totem, and then
Yeah.
when we get encounters, we go to spirit-animals.com, and I don't know the person that made it, but it's brilliant. There's a box at top that comes up, and that's random, and spirit can control random. So they
Wow.
control everything, but so when you get an animal encounter, anything, a fly landing on you, you go look, and then there's a message there, and it's very, very fitting, brother. Very,
Yeah.
very fitting.
On
My
that
wife
score
and I
with
both do it.
animals, by the way, guys, should we call this hangout "They Are Squirrels"?
Ooh, sure.
That's something different, isn't it? I mean, that people might be
We got to
curious
figure why
just
these
from.
people are they're hoarders of money instead of hoarders of things, which we know people hang on to things for certain reasons. Then next thing you know, they give it to somebody that needs it. That's why they're hanging on to it, and they don't know it. So I see that with people that do that as well. Because
It's
a buddy of mine's waking up to things that his grandparents left for him that they
yeah.
hoarded. But now there's very spiritual meanings behind them, and it's all coming to light for him. So it's interesting. Every one of us is different.
Do you know what we're talking, right? We're talking as if animals and all these things have never been a part of our life, but in the olden days they were.
Definitely.
Do you know what I mean? We're talking,
Just,
it's almost like,
yeah.
you know, our grandparents and before they used to grow vegetables, but we don't. So it's almost like you say to your kids, vegetable gardens, and they don't even know what we're really talking about. But that wasn't
That's
that long ago. We had vegetable gardens.
That's right. It's coming back.
It's the variety of skills people had that has disappeared. I mean, you can pull up the 1881 census free online, and if you pick a village, look at the different variety of skills. You've got boot makers, broom and brush makers, hoop shavers, and so on. Wheelwrights. The skills were so much greater years ago. There's so much that's been lost. A lot of it obviously was labour intensive. That's the way it's been sold. Or where you'll have an easier life, and that's a half truth. Remember, that all this technology would bring you plenty of free time, which is great if you happen to be homeless.
Right, but there's really no need for it.
Yeah, but it's always spun as a half truth. It's like, yeah, you'll have all the free time, but because they're talking about having to invent some sort of employment in 40 years' time, because basically machines are taking over. You could replace all cashiers straight off with self-serving tills, and look at the underlying message there of self-service.
Yeah,
It's reinforcing that theme.
Yeah, that's going to take a complete about face.
Yeah,
definitely going to take a complete about face because again, all those machines are churning up the ether.
yeah.
It's not natural. So
No.
Mother Nature won't have it.
Can I say something? It's really great. I love these talks because we should be more spiritual and understanding life a little bit differently. It slows you down, doesn't it, as a person?
Yeah.
But they are passing right now laws that are going to take your children. Right now,
Yeah,
I put a video out. It's the one. It'll be the one before this one on the channel.
They're just trying to keep they're just trying to keep people busy. Okay, because what they want
Everybody's going to have them. So each county, and when I was playing a bit to James, he said, "Well, that's the same as ours, so it's a worldwide one." I was saying to James, you know, they've got us down as this murdering, barbering people who need to be controlled, and every day be showed all these videos where these people are going to death row and this person killed these people. Well, we surrendered overnight without one soldier or one police officer, the whole world.
Again, that's
we're not violent people. We're peaceful people.
But again, Karen, like what James said, you get what you allow in your head. You get what images come into you. These are just dirty politics trying to keep you busy because they don't want you to find out they've been stealing your pixels since you were born.
But this is taking all your
grandparents were
rights
born.
away in one scoop.
But no,
Heading towards
your rights.
one
You're
world
right.
order.
They took your rights away at birth.
Yeah.
Thing is, they're also pumping you with 5G, and then they've got to cleanse you of it, all in the same bill. How can that be?
Okay, so there again, you're allowing that into your head because 5G has nothing compared to what the ether is dropping right now. What they're doing is trying to take credit for what the sky and the stars are doing for the cleansing. So if you want to fill up your brain that it's somebody else doing it and not listening to the stars, again, then you're not paying attention to the stars. You're not paying attention to the
Okay. I'm just putting out the what's coming out, what people are starting to say, what people are starting to notice. And although you're right, Claudio,
but I'm not
if it
saying
becomes
it for you,
law,
I'm saying it for
we'll
everybody,
have to wear masks. Our children can be taken away. We can be taken away. They can take your house. They can do anything they want. Do you know they can keep you for 3 days? Then it's 5. Then it's 30. Then it's 60 or 90. Then it's forever. How can this be for something that passes in 2 weeks? Do you see what I mean? I know you say, well, don't look at it in a way. I say the same. We need to turn our backs on them and just carry on with our lives. But that's what's going to be law.
Yeah, I don't know what to tell you, sister.
It's a bit like it's slightly crazy time. I wish we could just put them on a boat and just like sail them off somewhere.
That's gonna.
And what's even worse is they're all computer programs, just like when Arnie from Total Recall goes to Mars. We all know who the baddies are. He comes out, the television comes on, the news comes on, and there's the baddies on the television. They've been showing us for years what's going to happen.
Well,
rights were already stripped. Go ahead, Jay.
What these films are doing a lot of the time, they're implanting the ideas in the subconscious.
Correct.
I've not really looked into
the Matrix. I feel that we're all Neos. You've got the Truman family. Even the computer taking over. Dave, I'm going to turn myself off. You know, just Scorpio 1. Is it Scorpio 1? I mean, those are a bit old. Maybe people don't know. That's when they didn't go to the moon. It's like the truth's been given, and yet we can't do anything, and it's such a mishmash of everything. But the thing is, the stuff you're talking about means that you know it from your heart, don't you? That's the difference, probably. All that's put in front of us, the images, but is what you know in your heart.
It's that fine line, being aware of what's being put out, but then not giving attention to it, because where the attention goes, the energy flows.
Exactly.
So it's mastering the subconscious and closing your eyes to the 5 senses and denying it.
Right. So that's the war that we were talking about earlier, Karen. The yin and the yang. If you follow the light, the images that you're allowing in your head, you're going to go in that vortex and you're going to become a part of it. If you follow the other light, the one that's no light, the dark one, you will be always fine.
Yeah, and then you've got to find all these people that you can do this with. Because there's so many, even in my own life, just recently for me, you think you meet people and you think they're wonderful and beautiful, and they just turn into this ugly mesh of globe life and addictions and problems and things which make life so difficult to be. So I'm a little bit mirrored at the moment with that, I'm afraid. Other people's problems and issues.
If you look at pretty much anything, it all follows that same sort of narcissistic pattern, because with a narcissist, they put up an image to lure you in, and then you think of everything else, whether it be politics, religion. It's all about picking a side, and what sort of, they've all got enough of the truth and the good bits in it for people to, because it's like a narcissist, they're not going to come up and say, hi, I'm a narcissist. They're going to create a false image, and this is what is done with everything.
100% agreed. So Karen, I'll just so you're, and I'm saying it's not saying this to you, I'm saying it to everybody who's listening. That's the Armageddon. There's two paths, the door on the right and the door on the left. Which one do you want to take? If you're allowing the images in, that means you're not following source. So source is here right now saying the door's open. Just think positive, stay in your own light, stay in the spirit, the one love light, and you will be safe. You will be guided. They got your back. If you let the other light in, then you'll be directed to go in that direction. That is the Armageddon. That is the war. That's the spiritual war. So it's part of our going around the dendra with infinite rebirths till we get it right. Once you realize that they've got your back, move on. If not, you repeat. It's really that simple. All the life lessons that we've got up when our mother, our father leave, they go away for a week, they go away for the night, whatever, and the kids
Thing is,
misbehave.
you know,
You gotta let
I
me finish,
think
Karen.
that
Let me finish. When the parents are gone and you misbehave, when they get back, you catch shit. You get grounded. You got to try again. This is now on a grander scale. Mama's home. She's checking our heads. She's in our top
Claudio,
chakra.
what about all the people who've done quite a lot of homework on themselves, know who they are as people, and so basically, you know, there are things. I'm sorry, what person who's woken up watches the television or watches or wants to watch anything that they're doing on the television? You know, like what happens when you meet people who won't get off the television, won't get off these addictions? What about that?
Yeah, but it's about everybody knowing that they are protected and they'll be fine and they're with source. So it's a broad general statement because right now we're at that crossroads. This is day of reckoning. This is judgment day, and the judgment day and day there's no time because it's, to me, it's 3.5 years because I'm following Eris as she cycles in and out of our head. So if we want to be spiritual, we'll be fine. If you want to be materialistic, so you can't know yourself because the self is the yin. And if you don't understand that yourself is the same self as everybody, then you're not doing yourself a favor because, and it works in that context too, because the self only wants those who know and understand that it's one love. We're all together on this, and you will be protected so long as you understand that. It's time to let go of materialistic beings. It's time for the butterfly to go through its next stage. That's what the age of Aquarius is. John the Baptist, we're being baptized right now. And the ritual of baptism was a breadcrumb for us to remember during this time here. And it's not just some literary story, it's actually happening to us right now. So we got to choose which road do we want to take. So my recommendation is real simple. Don't allow any not good images in your mind. Talk to source, talk to within, talk to the stars, talk to the angels, talk to source, however you want to do that. If you don't do that,
That's if they want to do it.
Well, I don't, it's not talking about they, we're here as experiences.
No, you do, I do, James does, but these other people, they don't want to do it.
Well, no, don't worry about, yeah, but everybody has their turn and they will do it eventually, or they keep coming back. And they'll be reborn into people who know, and then they'll learn that time. So this process isn't going to take long. It's only going to take a couple generations, and everybody's going to be on track in the age of Aquarius.
This life, you could say, socks. Because if you look at the yin and yang symbol, we're walking that fine line between the dark and the light, which is an S. What we want, what the other two letters, the O is the organic, the K has got that straight line, and then it's got two paths you can take from that. That's what I think. That's what I think. Because interesting, the J and the K are missing from the Greek alphabet. They've come from some other source.
Yes, right. So you need a 26. So the Italian language is like that too.
Yeah.
Because I don't know if you've seen that circle of 60 we've put together we're cracking the Da Vinci Code on it.
No, I haven't seen it, but
Okay, so the M and the N are in the middle. That's the moon
yeah,
king in the middle. And
yeah.
the Alpha and the Omega, there's your Mona Lisa. Okay, then you get Romans, you get Masons, all with the MONA. And then
Yep.
you add, and lo and behold, I live on a street called Moran that has both the R and the D in it, both the Romans and the
Yeah.
monads. Right. So nothing comes by chance. This is the
No.
breadcrumbs that they leave us so that we can start jumping in.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm with you, brother. The Alpha to the Omega.
Definitely.
But take a look, because it'll show you the cross, it'll show you the swastika, it'll show you your walk path in life by vibration. It holds every music progression in it. That's where I learned it from an astrologer who then put up this guy just showing music. And when I seen the numbers
Wow.
on there, I'm going, wait a minute. I seen the first one, 0, 1, 1, 2, 3, 5. And I know that's a Fibonacci spiral,
Yeah.
right? Or Fibonacci cycle, but then it only keeps the last digit.
Yeah.
So if you only keep the last digit, it wraps around and repeats every 60. Oh, look at that, around the clock, around the dendra. So everything
Wow.
is in there. Everything is
Yeah.
in there. When you get to the 7077, 7 letters at the top, that's the 7 colors of the rainbow, the as above. 1011 on the left, the east, 9099 on the right, the west, so Alpha to Omega, and down below you got the boat of Ra, the U. And that's 3033. There's your 3 trinities. And then it goes 303, 369. The 369 is sitting at the 18 degrees that the Egyptian pyramids are off, the galactic equator, the river of heaven, the Milky Way. So it's all there on that circle.
It's
So
amazing how points.
when you wrap the letters around, there's 26. That's what I'm trying to tell you. There has to be 26 because it fits. It absolutely fits. So just when you deny the ether, you only need 24 letters.
Yeah.
When you know the ether, the M and the N, the Vesica Pisces is in the middle.
They're often interchangeable as well in the end.
The M and the N. Well, in reality, it's the M is 2 of the N. So
Yeah.
I look at that as to get to source, because there's nothing there, right? You got 2, which is the yang. Then 1, right? Two ends is the yang. You got 2, and then you go down to 1, the N, and then to none, of course, 0, no thing. So it's all very, very fitting. So there's your Mona Lisa.
Yeah. You've also got the letter N, which is in because it rises, moves to the right and falls, and then rises again. Hence, you've got Enki, Enlil, because it's Lord of the Sky, Lord of the Earth. So N means Lord.
That's cool.
I've just looked at these letters because first off, you hear words like you can say it's theirs or it's over there, and it's like, oh, same sound, different spelling with a slightly different meaning. And then after about 3 or 4, it's like, this doesn't seem to be a coincidence anymore. There's something in this far more that needs looking at. So I've sort of become fascinated by it.
So you just brought that up, and now I applied the glyph to that. The there over there, and the there meaning possessive. It's got the I in it. The I has got the dot on it. That's life.
Yeah.
Right? The drop of water that comes out when you drop a drop in. The big drop of water comes up. There's the I.
Yeah.
So there has the I in it. So every letter is a word. So we're speaking in sentences. So it's a reality. We've created a language where we're trying to make words represent glyphs. Well, they were already done.
They're basically, I mean, when any of us speak, it's not words, it's sound vibrations that the brain then decodes back into words again.
Right.
Which I think is another reason why we've had this manipulation. I think English, the angel leash, our language so much.
You broke up
I
there,
mean,
brother. What was that last sentence?
pushed worldwide so much, because it, as a case in point from the system, the education system, it's proven that children learn languages earlier. So in the United Kingdom, we don't start learning foreign languages till we're much older. Well, and then we only get the choice of French, German, or Spanish. But say if you wanted to learn something like Bulgarian, you've got no chance. And yet every other country, they all seem to be able to speak at least a smattering of English.
Yeah.
It's a case of, if something is pushed so much, I start thinking, look the other way.
What is it? What is it? I've said this before. What is it with England as well? Like Greenwich Mean Time starts here. We're right in the middle. And yeah, what you've just said. It's a bit crazy. The language, like, why is English? We're such really, I know other countries like America, Canada, New Zealand, Australia talk it, and other places as well, but they do teach. Like the Turkish couldn't wait to teach the children English. The whole point about sticking them out on night times, when you're walking around, is so that they learn the English.
I think
It's really
the clue is
important to Turkish people that the children learn the English, and you're like, really? I mean, Turkey's about 10 times, 15 times the size of England.
Yeah. I think the clue is in the symbology. I don't think it's so much England. I think if you look at the
That's right.
City of London coat of arms, do you see the cross?
Mm-hmm.
Which is the reverse of the Swiss flag.
Mm-hmm.
And then you think what it's also been associated with. It's the Crusades, it's Christianity. What else has it been used for? There's various other flags all developed from it. But it's basically a cross, a red X.
Yeah, well, that's us dying on the cross, right? Repeatedly.
Yeah.
So
James, what's your bit about the flags as well then? Tell Claudio about the flags.
What? Sorry, I'm not with you.
Oh, you were telling on the other chat we were doing about you don't have the same colours as your enemy.
Oh yeah, that's another thing that gives itself. If you want to break away from the control of another country, i.e., when the story goes, the founding fathers basically said we're not paying taxes to the King of England. Well, surely you'd pick different colours for your flag than the same colours.
Yeah. Right.
That sort of gives it away.
Right. But now we're going to go to one flag. And it's probably going to look like the dendra. Right. So, but yeah, as far as teaching kids, we need to teach them glyphs again. So we don't need to talk in paragraphs to create a story. Picture's worth 1,000 words, right?
Claudio, Kathy can come into the conversation if she wants.
I'll ask her. So, yeah, the glyphs are what should be what we teach in kids, because they paint a picture, they paint a story. Teach them a whole language to try to write a novel when you can get through with 100 glyphs. Yeah, it doesn't make much sense. So I know we're going to be going back that way for sure.
My mother has pointed out an interesting point as well. Why has English been forced on, say, native people of Canada, and even Wales? Martin Leaker spoke about this. They'd get the knuckles wrapped if they spoke Welsh in class, and that's in the 1960s. It's been enforced over a long period of time.
And that's really weird because Welsh is older than Latin.
Yeah, I think it's 20.
And look at it. Look at the letters. You've got loads and loads of letters together. It's nothing like English at all.
They seem to do very well on the letter L and the letter D in their language, I must admit.
I have a theory, brother, on why all the different languages and why all the different cultures and why all the different glyphs. Yeah. And this is my theory. I want to see how it rings with you. See, right now, everybody is going through the spiritual Armageddon, beginning and yang. going with source and not going with source. So
Yeah.
I'm sure you've seen this when you go to try to find out truth. There's so many people grabbing something, thinking it's truth, and running with it. To the point where some
Yes.
people got
Yeah.
millions of viewers.
Yeah.
So yet the people that are sharing the truth have very few views. So
Yeah.
if everybody said, well, we're going to go set up land over here, you guys go ahead, because there's 6 billion acres just on Turtle Island, North America. So you can fit everybody within an acre, 10 acres, 100 acres each on the whole world.
Yeah.
So as people get through this, some of you say, I don't like what Karen, Claudio, and James saying. No way, they're screwballs. I'm going with this guy over here who believes in aliens. They set up a cultural. They run slowly. Things change, but their language may be different, and their glyphs may be different. Their cultures are going to be different than ours. So that's what keeps happening every time we go through shifts in ages.
Yeah.
Then you get the guy that says, no, I want to just freaking rule people. That's what I love to do. And that's what happens. And the greed sets in. And then as we get into the dark ages, we don't see source much anymore. Part of our lesson. And now it's time to wake up. Which way do you want to go?
Yeah.
So that's my theory.
That makes sense. I happened by chance to see a YouTube video called Canada's Roswell, and it wasn't so much the UFOs that I was amazed by. This is like the very eastern side of Canada, and I thought that's pure rural Devon and Sussex dialects coming out in the way they're saying the words, and I thought, wow, it's been passed down over 3 generations and they haven't lost it.
That's right, 100%.
Because from being in the UK,
I don't think, James.
Yeah.
Claudio, here, right? If you're in Reading, they've got an accent. Thatcham has an accent. Hungerford has an accent. Next village, Froxfield has an accent, and the one on has a different accent. I've been to all these places, and to get to Marlborough, they've got a different accent. All in about 40, 50 miles. Every town, everywhere has different accents. Everywhere does.
Yeah.
They're not the same accents. They're all different. Like Berkshire, excuse me, Berkshire's got the burr. If you're in Berkshire, where I am, they go on the burrs when they talk. Burrs. It's really weird. But each place has a different accent on their language, on their talking. It's weird. Like even just the next town or the next village.
Well, it strikes me I've always been fascinated by how somewhere the size of Liverpool and the close proximity to Manchester, how those accents can be so distinctly different.
It's migration of cattle, I guess, right?
What about the people in the middle between those two cities?
Yeah, the only way I can do it when Birmingham is go Birmingham, Birmingham, a Birmingham accent. I can't do it any better than that. But they have a completely different accent. They're not that far away from.
No,
they're another big town up there.
It's bleed over, right? We live on the border between Canada and the United States, so our friends have a little bit of a Canadian accent, and we have a little bit of an American accent. So, because if you go 4 hours north, they say, "How come some of those words sound American?"
Canadians have to say a certain word, and then I realise they're Canadians. Otherwise, I think you're American.
Oh no,
I forget the word right now, but you just say a word completely differently. When you say it, it's got this accent on it. It's a Canadian.
Ah, cool.
Yeah.
Actually, it's interesting through.
I mean, do you think me and James sound the same? We're English.
Yes, similar.
Or we've got different accents.
Hard to tell. Yeah, I wasn't really paying attention.
I don't think I've really got an accent. Sometimes there's a bit of that Berkshire burr in there because I've lived here for so long, but I don't think I've really got an accent. But people do have accents.
Yeah. An interesting point as well from a UK perspective is how Canada, for the size of it and the amount they must produce and export, you just don't hear of Canada in the UK on the news. And yet the United States is dominated. And I've always found that fascinating as well. It's like, why is there nothing spoken about to do with Canada apart from
Well,
road truckers and like that?
we're one of the countries that have fought the tyranny, the de facto governments, where they went as far as call us the land of the free. I'm not sure if you've seen the hangout that we had with Karen.
No.
But basically, the UK, all the money, all the banks, everything generated from there, whether it's just a fictitious bank or whatever, who knows. But Canada was very instrumental in writing the international covenants in the 60s. So we knew that there was de facto governments. So they pleased the people and then diluted it with time. And then they continued on with their de facto governments. We've already sent in our claim of recognition notice of understanding to the Governor General, who is the CEO acting for the Queen. The Prime Minister is nothing but a puppet.
Yeah.
So she has all her family, okay, the Queen's family, the family's family, whichever families you want to talk about, because I hate even calling her a queen, because she's not a queen. She's a sister who's lost it. So
hey, Claudio, on that bit, she gives out OBEs, MBEs, KGBs, and these things really mean something else. They're not just these accolades we thought that they were just getting, a little old, whatever it is. That means they've worked their way up this system.
Right. So the Canadians learned the international covenants. I've studied the law now for 6 years. I've done enough constitutions where I see where they play the shell game, where they convert you into a subsidiary corporation and go under their de facto laws. You can claim your common law rights, and a lot of Canadians did that. It was so much, though, that there were so many in Quebec that were going this way that they ended up making that fake news, fake media memorandum thing going to a vote. Well, we all know that votes are fictitious and fixed anyway. So the Canadians are going even more vigorously to the tune of, we're going into courtrooms and we're challenging the judges to the point where they're trying to tell you to get out. So now I've got a friend of mine out in BC who is knows how to turn on the common law, and that where they can't refuse it, because every court in Canada, every court in the whole world has two sets of laws in it. One they hide from you and one they don't. Most judges don't even know they exist until you get up there. You get up there when you're ready to do corporate law over common law. So Canada stays off the map because they don't want you to talk to Canadians. They don't want you to see what's going on in Canada. So behind the scenes, there's a lot of Canadians that are going to make things right. Behind the scenes in every country, everybody's learning it. That the international covenants were signed by foremothers and forefathers in ink. Said both laws exist and you must respect them. Well, it kind of did. There's plenty of Supreme Court cases which Supreme Courts don't belong to the country. The Supreme Court belongs to universal. And there's many court cases where they tell Canada that it's basically you're a corporation, you're not a landowner. And they must uphold our rights at any time. But Canada's done it so that the right way to do it is not through the court system, it's through the back door so nobody sees and hears you. So that's why Canada stays off the map.
That makes a lot of sense. That's good.
Yeah.
Thank you for explaining that.
No worries, it's all good.
Yeah, it's inspiring as well.
Yeah, it is. The finance minister just stepped down, so they're all going to start exiting now.
Yeah.
Because karma's coming their way. They're going to feel it. We're all feeling something right now from what these stars and alignments are doing, to which we follow very, very seriously, and know that it works, and know that the 90% of people are using the wrong astrology. That's why they can't predict this.
Yeah.
So everybody is going to feel this, all based on their birth chart, and the karma is coming, and their judgment day is coming. Because in order for them to follow source, they're going to have the exact same Armageddon. So that's why people rejoice, man. It's going to be over.
Yeah.
Just live your life, be positive, stay away from the, yes, we know a lot of us went down the rabbit hole. And then what happens, you
Yeah.
start coming out of the rabbit hole, go, okay, now time to leave that alone and go forward.
This
So if
is
somebody
it.
wants to
This is
continue
the
down the
stage.
rabbit hole, please don't, but just know that you are being a little bit steered. And watch what
Well,
you got in your head.
the end of the day, all it is showing is everything is a lie. And it's like, how many more times do I have to keep getting that message being told to me? So it's like,
Right.
well, that's not going to give me the answers I'm looking for. So there's only one other place to go. I've tried looking outward, so it's now a case of going within.
Yeah.
I can also give a definitive answer as to that the sun goes past the earth, not the other way around out of this. When you consider the solar plexus the place of the sun, it's rising that sun up into the heavens, the skull, the Golgotha, and it goes past the heart, which is the earth.
100%, which is the same thing as a magnet. We go from one
Yeah.
side of the magnet to the other. One side of it
Yeah.
is 1, like an egg, and the other side is 1.618 or 5. So if you want to stay in the more materialistic side, you will pick the white light. You'll pick the images that don't serve you, and you'll stay on that path. You'll take that door versus the other door. So
this is it.
Yeah, this is the Monty Python crucifixion versus freedom. Remember that skit?
Yeah. It's always
Can I
a
say
case.
something? The only reason you can talk like this is because you've worked out who you are as a person. And once you do that, then you're open to all the other things in life. If you don't know who you are, you cannot look at any of these things because you don't know this and you don't know that. And it goes like that. It does. You have to know who you are as a person. And when you do, life's different.
Well, we're all what we prefix a lot of sentences with. The answer is I am.
That's right.
That's all of us.
And then Claudio is, are you to me?
We're all.
Yeah, it's been quite. I mean, obviously, I know what James is like and what his hangouts are like, and Claudio's changed quite a lot in this last year or 2 years we've been having hangouts, and the bit with the numbers you were talking about is this wheel, a bit like Ezekiel's wheel, but it's a wheel of all the numbers and everything adds up, and that's what you've been using for your astrology, isn't it, Claudio?
Yeah. Well, yeah. Along with yes, because it's your vibration, it's your walk path. Like when you repeat the 60, think of it this way: when you get towards 60, you're going past the 91011. So there's your 911. So you're going from change into in reality, your 60th birthday is your ability to do a rebirth here and live for another 60, and do a rebirth here and live for another 60. Well,
it's amazing though, isn't it, that the stars do all this, and as humans in this globe place, we're looking down and everything's happening above. It's all happening whether you like it or not, but most people are oblivious to it.
Right. Think of their first letter in human, H.
I mean, do you get the bit where you think, hang on a minute, the ether's calling me?
Yeah.
Sometimes you don't quite know what it's about, but you just know. It's like there's just something in the wind. Something's coming.
100%. You got to tune into that, because they really are knocking on the door.
I think that's why I got into my fairy decks, because fairies are all about the world is the body within. The world is the body within. And what they're saying is turn off the televisions, because, I know what they mean. Like, even though I'm sitting in quite quiet, the window's open, there's quite a nice wind, which is whirring through the house. It's been going on since early this morning. But, without that, I can hear the noise of something of a wire on my computer going. So all these vibrations go into your head, and they're saying, turn it off and listen to those leaves rustling, and what it's telling you stuff all the time.
Yes.
So the world is the body within, because anyway, fairies are quite, I like fairies. I like things with wings.
On this
I don't like flies.
The
Sorry. Yeah.
signals of the spiritual wind. and then it's passing it through the root system. It's a communication.
100%.
That's. I should have asked the trees. I said, "What is your?" But it's that. It's never mind. Does the tree know it make? Or was that saying about does the tree make a sound if no one hears it? It does. Is the tree aware it was once a seed? Is the question I'd want to ask. They do have a consciousness, but you can feel it.
I can actually answer that.
Yeah.
Every atom is a universe of atoms.
Yeah.
Every atom has a memory, just like the memory of water, right?
Yeah.
It knows where it's been. And until we crack this egg and we go back to complete bliss, and every one of us, when we get back to the Garden of Eden, back to one, so we can go back to source, zero. Yeah, the tree knows, because every atom is part of a hologram. Because Ken Wheeler stated this, I've never done this, but he says if you take a hologram, a true hologram, and you shine a light through it, you'll see the image. If you cut the corner of that hologram off, push a laser through that little piece in the corner, the whole image reappears.
Wow.
So every atom in our body is a universe, which holds billions of atoms, which is a universe. That's the theory of incommensurability, Plato's divided line. So when you have this kind of knowledge, thanks to Ken Wheeler, that's the premise, you can sift through the waters a lot easier, know what fits. Yeah. And then you can do his retroductive logic to get back to no thing. So yes, everything knows. It does know.
Yeah.
Now, you look at the tree as having a memory of consciousness, but I that part I don't know, but I just know that every atom in that tree knows where it's been.
Yeah.
That's why when you take a pill from Big Pharma, it can never work because there's greed attached to it. And everything that they've done to create that pill, if it wasn't done with love, then it won't work.
Well, we have a health service, but it's all to do with health of the profits. It's nothing to do with health of humanity.
Right, health of the stock market.
It's beware of false prophets, spelt with an F rather than a PH.
Right, I use that one all the time. Putting profit before profit.
Yeah.
Awesome, brother. Same wavelength.
Yeah, collective consciousness at work.
And that's where everybody's yin can take them. Now, they don't have to get into all this detail as long as you know that the Bible you're reading is all about the stars.
Yeah.
It is the 12 apostles. It is the 12 zodiac signs. It is our life lessons. Those are gods that have made it into closer to the ether. Every star that you see is not as powerful as the one you can't see.
Yeah.
The closer you are to the yin, the dark, and see, of course, dark has been given such a not positive connotation.
Yeah.
Right? Because you don't understand the dark. What lurks in the dark is pure love.
Yeah.
That's what lurks in the dark is pure love.
Yeah.
Because if your mind's in a right spot, like you said earlier, what you imagine, you're going to be totally fine.
Well, people even use the saying, "Oh, I see it now." It's sort of encoded in little phrases we use all the time without even realizing what we're saying. It's amazing, it really is.
Yeah. I gotta use this to honor my buddy Dan Weston. He says when I say to him, "Do you see what I'm saying?" He'll go, "That's a physical impossibility. How can I see what you're saying? I can visualize what you're articulating."
Yeah, that's
so if
very
you're ever
good.
having a colon with somebody and they say, "Can you see what I'm saying?" You can say, "Nope."
Well, you could see it, I suppose, in a way of their sound vibration creates an image in the mind.
Yes.
So
There's
it is
actually some people.
a thing.
And somebody was telling me, I'm not sure if it was you, Karen, or not, that people can actually see words. When you speak, they can see colors coming at them. It's kind of cool.
Yeah, so I was looking at something earlier on. I was looking at this card because I told you I've got some astrology decks, and the pink card came up. I knew what card it was by the colour. There you go.
Nice. Yep.
Yeah, it's really weird how the words twist. Like for me, it was a little bit different. I was trying to explain that the Big Dipper doesn't go round my house; it goes around my house. The same thing, but I'm not saying the same thing.
Yep.
I'm saying something completely different, but you've still got to say around.
Yeah.
And then what was it? Air is watered down water. So it's like the opposite, and it's like, yeah, it's crazy.
Oh, I learned from
Air is
Matt
watered
Jerome.
down
Mama,
water.
Mama is the Wawa. Flip him over. Mama is the Wawa.
Yep.
We have been going for an hour and 5 minutes. Do you want to carry on for a bit more, or do you think we should sort of start winding up now? Because you can always come back and have another one, or call each other.
Yeah. I just
Now you're friends.
Yeah, absolutely. Another great. There's Karen. Karen's good at that. Karen's great at bringing people together.
Yeah.
There's no doubt.
Yeah. This is what
Yeah,
it's
I'm
all
not.
about.
See,
Yeah,
sometimes when I talk to Claudio, I know the homework I've done. I'm not as clever as you guys to sort of, I don't know. Hopefully, what we've talked about, or what you've talked about, resonates with people. But I do like getting people together.
Yeah. It's the more.
But you did it, Claudio. Yeah. You did this one.
I did. We did it.
Because
There's no such
when
thing as
James was here the other day, you said, I'd like to have a hangout and carry on talking, and here we are.
Yeah, that's true.
Perfect.
Oh, very quickly then. Was there
That's awesome.
a date
I'm
or
glad I did it.
something?
I'm really glad I did it, but I think we did it.
Yeah, you did it, Claudio.
I know.
It was a perfect.
Claudio, was there a date that's coming up that you wanted?
Team. No, I am team.
Is there a date you wanted to talk about, that something's going to happen, or that's in the future and not ready yet?
Yeah, no. I've made a video of that. I just actually did, Beata Positiva. I just did a radio show talk on the whole thing with her. But yeah, September, a bunch of dates that just happened. All these beautiful alignments are happening with everything that James and I are talking about. This whole thing of where we're going to have to take a choice in which path we follow. September the 2nd it's an amazing date because the Queen of the Heavens, Juno, faces off with the Queen of the Underworld, Eris, which is the Mama, the Madonna, the Isis, Mictecoatl, all the stories of the woman returning. Okay, so on September the 2nd, the Wicked Witch of the West, which is the Madonna, the Underworld, the Black One, faces off with Glinda, the Good Witch. Well, in reality, they're both good. Just got to know that the one of the day, Juno, is expansive. It's manifestation. It's the light. It's this realm. Whereas the Mama is us, which represents the ether. Well, there's a Wizard of Oz story. They're facing off on September the 2nd.
Yeah.
So the whirlwind, the tornado, whether there's going to be hurricanes, I see the patterns. I've been doing hurricane predictions. We got the when very much picked out. It's the where we're working on, to which we've made some gains. But the tornado is going to be, everybody's already feeling it. It's the whirlwind happening inside of us. That's the story of the Wizard of Oz. And if you look at the Mona Lisa, the alphabet around the circle 60, the O to Z is the lower half. And you throw that on the dendra and it all makes sense.
Yeah.
So September 2nd, if you guys are more interested, you can go check my video that I posted. Again, it's not monetized. I only do it just to share findings. I'm like a key finder. I pick up little bits.
Claudia, if you remember, in the messages below this hangout, just put that link in then for people to watch.
I will for sure. So with that, I'm all good. And I know we'll talk, James.
And we're humans, aren't we? Yeah. And we're not in the corporation.
That's right. That's all the Babylon is upon us, Karen. Don't worry, Mama's taking care of that one. We just got to be the good little kids now that she's home.
Mm.
This
James?
is it. The overwhelming, I was going to say, the overwhelming feeling I've had all the way through is this is going to be a good outcome, despite what's thrown
Great.
at us.
Hope so.
Prophet Mander's last hurrah. It's fall of
Yeah.
Babylon. It's the fall of Babylon. It's written in the stars.
Yeah.
Grab some popcorn
It's
and
all
watch
gonna be
the
good.
greatest reality show not on TV.
Yeah.
Well, it's been two great. Can you hear the wind? Can you hear it? It's like it's just so windy at the moment here. Two great
Somebody's telling her
minds
something.
put together here on a great hangout. It's been really great listening to you, and I'm sure we'll have another one, or you'll talk to each other from now, won't you?
Definitely.
100%.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Karen.
Thank you, Karen.
Claudio.
Thanks, James. Thanks for your time, James.
And the chat
Pleasure.
room.
Thank you, Claudio.
Yeah.
Thank you, Karen.
See you, everybody.
No, thank you
Thanks.
guys. Thank you very much.